What's up, everyone? It's the Desk Estimator, and today we're learning about carpet, carpet, carpet. Um, there's a lot of opportunity you can either miss or gain on doing carpet, and we're going to walk through visual estimating today. And I've got my Xactimate up already. I'm just going to go ahead and delete my line items here and start over. So I'll go ahead and start with a very standard basic way to do this, and you'll see adjusters do this a lot. And not that they're doing anything wrong, it's just they don't maybe know any better. So I just added my pad and my carpet because if you're doing carpet, you're doing pad. So we will save the argument for that for another day. And I'm going to add that to my other room. So my total square footage comes out to be 561 square feet. Now I'm going to go to my sketch. And so I've just got a regular square room and then an L-shaped room. If you know anything about construction, it's not by the pure square footage of the room. Carpet has to be cut in certain ways. So let's just make a mental note. We've got 560-ish square feet. That's what we first got. So I'm going to now delete those and go back to my sketch. So let's go ahead and add our pad. And so what you do is search over here, find your item, click on it, and you'll see on as you hover is your line item. So it's remove and replace pad. If you only had to replace, go ahead and right click and it'll give you some options here to change that. So I'm going to stick with remove and replace. And all you do is click in the room. And there we go. So we'll go back to our estimate item. Just make sure that took. So I've got carpet pad there, carpet pad there. Okay. And just for sanity's sake, pad is still at 561, which makes sense. It doesn't require the odd cutting that carpet does. So let's go back to our sketch. Now for the fun part. We'll do some carpet. All right, let's add that in. And we'll add that in here. Okay. We'll go back to our estimate items. And so based on the shape of the room alone and visually estimating, we have almost 1,000 extra square feet of carpet that we're now going to have to purchase. So we have, instead of in the room two, instead of 417 square feet, we've got 629. And in your room one, 340 instead of 144. So that's pretty crazy. And some additional things you can consider. So I have a flooring underlay on or over orientation on, and basically this is just showing you where the cuts are going to be. And you can adjust that room, the orientation. So if you click this flooring orientation button here, you can change it. So we wouldn't really install carpet this way. See how that really thin piece is going against the wall? So I'm gonna see if we can get a different orientation here that makes more sense. This might be okay. Let's try one more. This would be super close. Customer might not like that tiny little cut if they could see the seam, which hopefully they don't. I'm going to try one more. Let's see. This way. Okay, so this is probably the best orientation. So we'll go back to our estimate items. Let's see. So we brought that down a little bit, 557 here. Seems more reasonable. The other thing you'd want to check on is if you right click, it should give you the option to adjust the fill pieces. So I always make sure it's 1. I think Xactimate defaults to 4, but you can adjust that in your settings, which I'll go through that another time. But I always do it as 1 because that's reality. We're not making a bunch of cuts to reuse remnant pieces. The labor is actually more, and so it's just not worth it. Additionally, when you do a report, you can do sketch over here and print the flooring cut diagrams. And sometimes if you have somebody in the field and you want them to review before you do ordering or anything like that, or just making sure that this makes sense, you could do that. So you can check that out. Preview. PDF got stuck here. All right. And it will be at the bottom or at the end. Oh, well, it looks like it didn't come out. Let's see, print flooring takeoff. There we go. Let's try again. Oh, so you have to select, oh boy, you have to select all the boxes in order for the print diagram to come out, but the cuts. So it'll print this out for you, and then the following page will show the actual cuts that need to be made. And then you'll get some quantities here as well. So it looks like we'll need 91 square yards. We have 31% waste, which is kind of a lot. So had you used just your standard floor, your F in the quantity, you would have only gotten 10%. You would have shown up to do the job. You would have been short on material, had to order, and then potential to get a different die lot, unhappy customer, etc. Try this out, guys. Let me know what you think, and we'll see you next time.